Oh, hello, and welcome to your favorite podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space. As usual, I'm your host, Kevin, and I'm here with technically three amazing individuals. Let's start with Patrick. You want to say hi, Patrick?
Good day, everyone.
Nice. Mike, you want to say hi?
Hey, I made a sign.
Oh, nice.
Hey, everybody.
That is cool. Man, you put that up now. Everybody's gonna want it everywhere.
They are.
That's so cool. Yeah.
That's a bit of wood I have in my office at work. I need to hang it up on the wall, but yeah.
You can't do stuff like that to the idea guy, because you know what I just thought of, right?
A T-shirt. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We need T-shirts of that.
All right. I agree.
Oh man, how's that gonna lay out? But anyway, we'll worry about those ideas later.
Right.
And then I said four amazing individuals. The fourth is we have a moderator today, so hopefully things will go a little bit smoother than they do on occasion. But anyway, we're ready to have at it. So I guess I'll start with the fun fan freebie.
Yep.
You know, I'll give you guys a guess how that is going.
People, this is a free item.
It's free.
Come on.
We got hundreds of people watching too, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically millions, you know, on the low, but you know, it really is hundreds of people. Just listen. The first word of the fun fan freebie phrase is sun. Okay? So all you have to do is listen to the edited podcast of this live stream that we'll post tomorrow, and then our podcast that will be posted later this week, Thursday, no later than Friday, for the second and third word of the phrase, and you win free stuff. You can hear the end. You can hear more details on it at the end of the podcast that I post tomorrow. But it's free.
If you open that up to family members, I guarantee a couple of my kids are going to be winners.
I know. Maybe I should have some kind of limit there. Like after if we go 3 months without being able to give this to anybody, you know. Anyway. So yeah, if you're watching this and you aren't related to any of the people that you're currently if you aren't related to Xcellar Comics in any way, yeah, just figure out what the fun fan freebie phrase is and let us know. And you get free stuff. And it can be your choice of stuff up to, and actually I did want to add to this. I said up to $6 originally, right?
Yeah.
Then I added up to $7 if you answer the trivia question through the Spotify app as well. I'm going to go up to $8 for a third thing, because I thought about this afterwards. I was getting a little ahead of myself, obviously, but I was thinking whoever wins, as long as they allow us to share, hey, you know, Doug Smuckatelli won, and, you know, maybe a picture of him, or maybe have him as a guest for a minute to push the giveaway as well, then give it $8.
Yeah.
8.
All right.
$8. Free thing.
That's like 2 packs of Magic the Gathering cards. That's a couple comic books. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah. We're getting up to $8. That's a lot of stuff. So anyway, that's the status of the Fun Fan Freebie giveaway. Still in play. Keeping the trivia question the same. Keeping the phrase the same. Figure it out, people, and win some good stuff.
They better get that trivia question, because I looked at some upcoming comic book covers for our pick 3. And there's a really good one I like a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Patrick may have already seen it, too.
I don't think.
Probably has.
All right.
All right. So then the next thing I want to move into is on the same note, the polls and questions, results attached to the Spotify app. And I don't know whether you guys saw the questions, but which is your favorite toy crossover? from last week's live stream, and then of course the trivia question about who showed up at the end of the She-Hulk. Zippy, anything, anywhere. So nice. But I'm gonna keep on trugging along,
Yeah.
Right?
We'll keep that question up until it's not relevant, which might be one more week.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to advise me on that because I wouldn't really know,
All right, yeah.
And so next I wanted to talk about what we watched again. But I put, if you notice in the ticker there, I put final. Because we talked about prior to the show starting that we're going to kind of change the segment a little bit to this, this title that just rolls right off your tongue. Kevin's what Kevin's watched.
That definitely rolled. That did.
Anybody that's watched a few of our live streams has seen that it's turned into that pretty much a couple times anyway.
That's really what it is.
You thought I was joking about my joke?
I thought you were tripping over your words there on the
no.
Hold off. Okay.
Kevin's what Kevin watched. Just like Mike's top 3.
Yeah.
Patrick's collectibles on there, Mike or Kevin's what Kevin's watched. So
okay.
So anyway, this week is still going to be the what we watched. So we'll see how this goes with you two starting. So Patrick, why don't you lead us off on this if you got anything? You got anything?
Not much. Just the usual. Tried to catch up a little bit. We watched The Walking Dead. And last night we finally, I don't know, any of you guys watched Survivor? We watched Survivor. I
haven't watched it for a while. I loved it.
Yeah. Me and Chelsea have seen them all, and we got behind on 3, so we watched all 3 of them last night and caught up on that, and we also caught up on Resident Alien, which is the last episode was the mid-season finale. So other than that, Valor and I watched Batman and Bill, which Mike had recommended, which we're going to talk about next week perhaps. But that's about it.
What was that again? What's that called? Batman what?
Batman and Bill.
Oh, Batman and Bill. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got that watched this week too, and I thought we had a picture of Resident Alien too, because I didn't put mine up because I thought you had one. Patrick, didn't you put one up?
Not for this week, no.
Okay, because I actually got that watched. I watched episode 1 and part of episode 2, about maybe 10 minutes in or whatever, and I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm a little perplexed right now, though. There it is. Nice.
There you go.
Oh, and I need to do this.
There we go.
So anyway, that's on Sci-Fi, which for me it's on Peacock.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely good. Obviously, I like, I guess I should say we like him a lot. What's his name again?
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, he's great from Firefly and all that stuff. And he's definitely out of any way I've ever seen him in this show, obviously. He's this oddball alien. But I guess the question I want to ask you is, does he always kind of, I shouldn't say always. All right, how do we get, who put is he kind of always bad? I mean, he's bad, right?
You have to stay tuned.
Okay. That's what I was a little surprised by in episode. That's what I got out of episode 1. And does that come out every week, like Boba Fett did or whatever too?
Yeah, it was a weekly series.
Yeah. You said the last one. You watched the last one.
Yeah, it's in the second season. I guess they split the second season into 2 parts, and they said the season finale was last Wednesday, and it's coming back in the summer.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm definitely gonna get it all watched at some point. But wait till you see my list. You'll see why I didn't get it all watched. But I was glad I got 1 episode watched. And then
we're probably gonna try that one too.
Yeah. I definitely think you should too. Yeah, definitely. And you said you watched Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Is that's all still good? Did it finish up nice? Did you finish it? Is it done?
No, it's not done. I think there's probably a couple more episodes to this middle section, and then it'll take another hiatus, and then come back for the final 10.
Oh,
12
okay, so we're not as close as I was thinking. Gotcha. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right. But it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously enjoying it a bit. And I watched Survivor a bit. I actually got on a binge like last year where I'm not sure where that is, but they have all the seasons. And I didn't realize there was like 32 seasons of Survivor.
42.
42 now? Oh, it's so crazy, you know? So anyway, I watched a bunch of seasons of it. It was, I don't know whether all streaming services do it or it was just one in particular. All right, we're going to talk about Walking Dead some more. All right, Walking Dead. That looks cool. Is that Carol in the middle with the long hair?
Yeah.
Wow. Looks pretty tough. I think Mike was talking about how she's still annoying as ever. Somebody was, right?
It was that one episode. It was way too much.
Oh, okay.
From last season.
All right. So anyway, moving right back along to Survivor. Okay. We probably should have worked out cues. We haven't had a moderator in a few weeks, so we should probably practice cues more or something. But anyway, all right. But anyway, some streaming services will have like there's so many seasons, but they have like 12 of them that are free. But then if you want to see the other seasons, you got to pay for them.
Okay.
So basically, I just watched the 12 free seasons, which it's still so good too. What's this? Is this the latest one? Heroes, Healers, and Hustlers?
No, it's just called 42.
That's just called 42? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't seen that one, and I can't remember which one I watched last, but they're all still so compelling and awesome every time, in my opinion, so I enjoyed it. All right, so moving right along. Mike, what'd you watch?
I watched Batman and Bill again. So, like Patrick said, we'll talk about that next week. That's pretty much all I watched.
I will have to say, I think Mikey undersold it a little bit just to us. I had no idea what this was about. And, I just thought it was something associated with somebody coming in and talking to the kids at school, through your wife. But I didn't put two and two together, even though this had been brought up before in the Xcellar group. So I'm glad that you did bring it up, and I'm glad that I got a chance to watch it. It was really good.
I totally concur with all of that. And I guess undersell is a good way to kind of put it. Mike, you're just not pushy enough is what it is.
You're right.
Because it was great. I watched it this week as well, and so I guess we can tell everybody now we're gonna have at least one special guest star next week to contribute. Your wife, Mike.
Yep.
Auntie M, as known in my house.
Yeah.
And she had what's the guy's name? The main guy?
Mark Tyler Nobleman.
She had him, in her school, like Patrick said, and it was. I can't wait to hear things she had to say. And Patrick, don't you? The other, I don't know, undersell part of this or whatever is I'm like, I don't know why we didn't get a picture of them and him on the group. You know what I mean? I want to see it. That'd be a cool picture. I want to meet him now. Yeah, because the movie was great. Not only just the content, obviously, we can appreciate for our love of Batman and everything, but I mean, it was well done and everything, all that too. But then on top of that, this guy's caring passion about it was just obviously that's a big part of the story too. So anyway,
let's see it next week.
Yeah. So anyway, stay tuned or tune in next week for that discussion. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. So
this gives people a chance to watch it if they want to play along next week.
Yeah, watch it this week. And what is that on? That's Hulu, right?
Hulu,
right?
Yes.
Yep. It's we signed up to Hulu just to watch that when it first came out. So it's well worth signing up for Hulu just to at least watch that.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll move into let's call it the first then, since you guys are done. Kevin's what Kevin watched segment.
So I'm just gonna laugh every time you say that. It's funny. I like it.
Fine.
How about
I like it even better.
Kevin's watching? Is that too creepy?
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start off with this show. I mentioned this a little bit briefly, I think 2 episodes ago, that I was gonna watch it, and I hadn't watched it yet. I had planned to watch it. You guys remember? But
Yeah, I remember Windfall.
yeah, so this has Jason Segel from I think of him prominently with How I Met Your Mother, Forgetting Sarah Silverman, or Forgetting Sarah Silverman. Anyway, Lily Collins from Mirror Mirror, Mortal Instruments, and Jesse Plemons from Game Night, The Irishman, and then recently The Power of the Dog. And
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, and I saved this for last because it's my favorite thing of his, which is Battleship. He was in Battleship too, and I loved him in that too. But anyway, so this basically is very dry, very slow, kind of pretends to be this kind of mystery drama, I guess, but it's a big pass for me. This was really bad. I was mad that I wasted my time at the end of it, but I was just hoping for something to redeem it by the end, and it just didn't pull through for me even at the end. So,
Wow,
big pass on that one. But then moving into a real big positive. Are you guys aware of this? The Atom
we are
on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on our list. Even the kids are excited to watch this one.
Patrick?
Yeah, I've seen some things about this.
So this has got Ryan Reynolds, Jennifer Garner, and Mark Ruffalo in it. A lot of Marvel heroes and characters. Oh, and it's got I see. Those are the only 3 names I wrote down. But anyway, it's got other big actresses in it as well, and it's amazing. It's basically something I didn't know, and it's not too much of a spoiler because just kind of you find out right away, and it's big thing with the plot is time travel, so sci-fi time travel. Excellent movie. Big recommend on that one. And then I watched another. I'm going to go back and forth with good and bad. I watched this show. This is on Prime, and I just got a random recommendation from Prime for this. And then, of course, since we're so into the multiverse with the MCU in general, I was like, maybe I'll give this a shot. And the trailer didn't seem horrible. This is basically a B movie.
Yeah, I would have skipped it on the poster alone.
Oh, you don't like that poster? I was actually thinking that's a pretty cool poster. I'll use that. No?
No.
All right. Well,
they make it bigger.
Huh?
Yeah, I would have passed.
What'd you say about the poster, though? We need to make it bigger?
On my screen so I can get a better look at it.
Oh, gotcha.
It's got the Matrix stuff going on in the background. Yeah.
It's so anyway.
Okay,
B movie. It's not horrible, but it's definitely not something I really recommend. It wasn't real good, but like I said, it wasn't horrible. And since it was a B movie, there was like no effects to it. It's all kind of these pretend effects, all kinds of things, But anyway, not horrible. But I'll pass on that one. And then this one's huge.
Nice. Halo
on Paramount Plus. Were you guys aware of this being inbound?
Yeah, Marcus and I watched the trailer this morning. I almost had him talked into watching it this morning, but I think his Xbox won out, and he wasn't playing Halo.
Maybe not. Just to let you know.
Oh, okay.
Check it out first. It is borderline. Basically borderline. There is some cursing in it. but it's very graphic, which I was kind of surprised by, but it was kind of cool. So but you might want to check it out first. The visuals on this were amazing, all of it. Did I mention we're talking about Halo Paramount Plus, right? I've done that a few times when I'm editing the live stream for the podcast. I'm like, oh man, we didn't even mention what we're talking about. So anyway, yeah, Halo and Paramount Plus visuals are as perfect as they could be, in my opinion. The storyline is kind of, I'm undecided on how I feel about it. They kind of move into a storyline that I haven't experienced in the game, so it's kind of something they kind of came up with just for the show, I guess. I won't give up too much of that. I mean, it definitely has Master Chief as the central focus in it, and there is a visual of him, which was kind of a exciting thing that I won't get into too much how that happens or anything, but that's if anybody's familiar with Halo, it's kind of always been a thing that you never get to see who Master Chief is. So that was kind of cool in there, but definitely big recommend on that. I'll be checking that out every week. And then I watched this. This isn't new, of course, but I'm finally catching up on it.
Oh yeah.
I finished, or me and Jess finished season 2 of The Witcher. And is either of you guys watching this at all?
Nope.
Did you see season 1?
Yeah.
Mike,
yeah, I thought Emily and I watched it, and we felt that season 2 was better just because it was more linear in the storytelling. The first season, it was so difficult to tell where you were in history. So,
I was actually getting ready to say something similar, but a little bit different in the way that I totally agree with everything you just said, except in season 1, I think it all kind of wrapped up nicely by the end. Like once the end happened, you knew it all made sense,
yeah, it did. The thing was, I think some people may have checked out early on.
Before getting there. Yeah,
before they got there, just because they were a little bit confused.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think it wasn't the best way to do it. But what I have to say about season 2 is they didn't jump around in time, but they did jump around in the story, quite a bit to where it was linear, like you said, timeline wise, but there was so many moving parts that I don't think wrapped it up by the end either. So I actually like season 1 better. I like them both in general, but I actually like season 1 better just because there was just a lot happening in season 2 that I didn't feel I was tracking with completely. I mean, maybe it was just me, but I think they're both good. And there was a couple episodes in The Witcher or in season 2 that I could have passed on to. There was a couple that weren't quite that good, but I don't remember any during season 1 that I wasn't like, wow, that was awesome. So but anyway, it's good in general. Anyway,
it is.
And then I've got this shocking, and I'm going to explain once I show you what it is, movie that if either one of you heard of it, I'm going to be mad at you because you didn't tell me about it. All right. But it is Boss Level. Is anybody familiar with this?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Obviously, you can see this is on Hulu. This was out in 2020. And it's got Frank Grillo. I look at him as Crossbones from MCU, right?
Right.
All right.
Mel Gibson, everybody's favorite guy to hate. Naomi Watts and Ken Jeong. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but this show is so awesome. Or it's not even a show, it's a movie. So this movie is so awesome. And obviously with all these actors and actresses we're familiar with, I don't know how this wasn't on anybody's
radar, right?
radar. I mean, maybe it was just off of ours for some reason. But basically, I can explain the plot of this movie very easily. It's Groundhog Day. Okay? Literally, the movie Groundhog Day. Okay? With Crossbones, what's his name? Frank Grillo. He's Bill Murray. Okay? Waking up in the same day every day, no matter what happens, no matter how he dies, just keeps waking up same day. But it's an action movie, extremely graphic, not for kids. Lots of cursing, nudity, all of it, so it's not for kids. But it does have a certain tone of humor in it as well. But it's basically an action movie where he's trying to figure out how to get out of this loop. So he's kind of doing the opposite. Bill Murray kind of took advantage of Groundhog Day, obviously, but he's just trying to get out of Groundhog Day, get out of boss level. So every day, and the thing is every day there's people after him trying to kill him. So literally the day keeps rebooting because they accomplish it. So every day he makes a little bit further in his mission to figure out how to get out of this loop. Because, like the first day he woke up, there's a guy and I'll give away the first scene. Sorry, spoiler, it's 2 years old. But, guy's got a gun to his head and it's a sword, cuts his head off immediately. So then second day, he's like, okay, I need to do this
right.
To make it further in this day, and then so on and so forth. So basically he's knows what's coming so far into the day that he just keeps and keeps trying different things. It's awesome. I love it. Now I haven't watched the whole thing yet, and you guys know from my previous reviews, I'm sure, that ending's a big deal to me. So the ending could suck and I could come back next week and say this is no good.
Right.
But as of right now,
Cruise movie?
Huh?
Isn't there a Tom Cruise movie similar to that? It's a sci-fi movie.
Edge of
Minority.
Thank you.
What'd you say, Pat?
Edge of Tomorrow. Live Die Repeat. They kind of got rebranded as Live Die Repeat.
Yeah. That is. Yeah, it's very similar. Extremely. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think I use Groundhog Day as the reference more than Live Die Repeat.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly why. Maybe it would be better as a Live Die Repeat Edge of Tomorrow reference because that is action. I don't know why Groundhog. I guess the fact that he wakes up in bed every day is the part that is the part that took me to Groundhog Day. But anyway, excellent movie as far as where I am right now, which is probably a little bit more than halfway through. And so a big recommend on that one as well. And I'm bitter. I didn't know about it when it came out. I should have done the research whether it made any money in theaters or whether it was just made for cable or what. It seems like that's the way the world's going. I mean, it's just like they're making movies that are made for cable or whatever that are just as good as made for theaters. So anyway.
Yeah. It's just straight to streaming now, I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah. All right, so that'll wrap up the first what Kevin watched.
So when you say it, it sounds like you're making a mistake on. Yeah, it's like Kevin's what Kevin watched. Like initially, you used to call it, Kevin's list of movies he watched, and this that's too long. I'm going to call it what Kevin watched, but you make the mistake on Kevin's. I mean, what Kevin watched.
Right.
Anyway, keep with it though. It's good. I like it.
All right, cool. I like the. I think the cringiness has some charm, right?
Sure.
All right, so then we'll move into Mike's cooler sounding segment. Mike's top three covers coming out this week.
Yep.
So go ahead and take it away, Mike.
We'll throw this up there, and we'll run down through the list of the top 10 covers coming out on what's coming up? April, right? Yeah, April 6th. So we have Hulk Grand Design #1 by Jim Rugg, Swamp Thing 11.
No. This is April 6th. This is March 30th.
That's today. Today's March 30th. These books come out on April 6th.
Today's March 27th, Mike.
Mike's living in Groundhog Day.
Right. Today's March 27th.
Right. Okay. Let's back up.
These books come out
March 30th.
No, not March 30th. April 30th.
No. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, March 30th. March 30th. Anyway, let's get to the important stuff.
You're sounding so convincing that you're convincing me I could be crazy right now. Patrick, squares away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Patrick.
it's right there in the graphic, 3:30:22.
Okay.
All right. Well, the reason I was so convincing is because I was reading it the way I have it written down, which is all right. So back to Swamp Thing 11B, Francisco Francavilla, and then Aquaman 2B, Miko Sayan, and I think that's correct. Number 4 is Ghost Rider number 2, Kale. I struggle with his last name, NGU, and I would think it would be U, but I'm not sure. So I'm trying to go. I kind of use Dustin Wynn's name because his starts the same way, but it's difficult. And the number 5 book was Radiant Black 13C by Tom Wales, and then Sensational Wonder Woman Special number 1, Belen Ortega. The cover artist there. And then Usagi Yojimbo, Lone Goat and Kid number 3. And it's David Peterson. Hulk number 5 by Ryan Otley. Black Widow number 15, Jorge Fornes. And then Silver Surfer Rebirth number 3 by Ron Lim. And the number 3 cover.
Hold on a second. Who made this? Who made this graphic?
Me.
Patrick did, and it's awesome.
So you missed the March 30th, 2022, right there in the middle, Mike. Is that what happened?
Exactly, because I was looking at my sheet, which said
you were looking at your cheat sheet, which is corrupting you.
Yeah, that says April 6th. Let me go ahead and get my pen and fix that now. So I don't reference it next week and look and just add 7 days to this.
Right. Okay, sorry to interrupt. I just
That's
wanted to call out what Patrick already called out because I think it was glossed over too much. Needed to point it out. It's right there on your graphic.
Right.
So.
Well, I was in a hurry this morning because I was out playing laser tag last night.
Yeah.
You were there. So now
Yeah.
I've got to scramble. So number 3 was.
Hold on. What'd you do last night?
Laser tag.
Oh, you played some laser.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, I'll tell you what I like about this picture. It's kind of cool in general, but it's got a couple other special things going on. You can see right behind Jessie there. That's my beautiful wife, Jessie, for anyone who hasn't seen her yet. There's Cora, and then there's Cora, right? And then there's Mark right beside Cora, your children, and they're paying specifically good. They're being good kids, paying attention to the instructor. And me and my family, we're all ignoring the instructor.
Right.
And then just over my head, you can see the beautiful Auntie M, Mike's wife. That is her. And then way back in the back, nearly the furthest person to the back on the left side, that's Mike's head.
With the gray hair.
Yeah, so Mike and Emily are totally paying attention. Cora and Mark, they're being good. Pin checks are good. Raymond's were, but Raymond's were totally not focused. So anyway,
But look, you got the awesome picture and I didn't.
I just wanted to take advantage of putting that in there. Sorry to interrupt your thing again because you mentioned it. So,
right.
That's what we did yesterday. It was a lot of fun. So,
and that's why I'm stuck on the wrong date.
Okay, right.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
So there we are. Aquaman 2B, I'm sorry, 2B by Miko Sayan. And
this is number 3, right?
This is number 3. It had 6 votes. So we've got Marcus, Cora, Valor, Patrick, Johnny, and Kevin. They all like this cover.
It is awesome.
It is a really nice cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's that character's name anyway, Patrick?
Black Manta.
Black Manta. Yeah.
He's a perennial favorite. I mean, I think I
I
wasn't really reading DC at the time, but I think because he was on Super Friends, I guess he's just such a visual character that you just love to hate him, I guess.
Yeah, I would literally say that the only reason prior to the DCU having the Aquaman movie, the only reason I ever gave Aquaman any attention ever was because of Black Manta. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so cool. Yeah. So anyway, continue.
Yep. Okay, number 2. Black Widow 15. And this is there's a funny story with this cover. This is going to lead into a quick follow-up on Be on the Lookout, a quick segment. This is, I'm going to make sure I get the proper, these are called the window shade variants. And this is by Jorge Fornes. It came in second. It had 7 votes. And it's Tyler. Let's see. Ayla, Lexi, Cora, Jesse, Emily, and Maddie. She voted for the first time this week. And that's Tyler's girlfriend, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to say I'm a little shocked on this one actually.
I'm shocked too.
Yeah, it's cool, but mostly it's cool kind of conceptually rather than visually. You know, I mean it's. But hey, you know, whatever. No taste is wrong. You know, so.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of, I was not going to put it up, and then when I found out that it was kind of a theme on some variant covers, I thought, oh, this is actually there's more to it than what we just get there. So I put it up, and it actually is very popular.
Yeah, yeah.
So after this segment, I'll cover the upcoming covers.
All right.
Now, number 1, which I'm not surprised. This at first glance, this Ghost Rider number 2 cover, you know, I was like, okay, that's kind of neat. But then when you actually look at it and you see the way his head is turning, you know, and it's kind of, I can't tell, is it his face, or it's separating from the skull almost. It's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Is anybody reading this title right now?
No, but I might.
No.
I've never really followed much Ghost Rider. But
the first 2 covers made it for our number 1 of the top 3 covers coming out this week, right? So
yeah, yep.
It's a pretty good run so far with covers.
Yeah. So we've got 11 votes here, not the most. Like last week we still had the most. And it says Ayla, Lexi, Marcus, Valor, Jesse, myself, Johnny, Kevin. Where are we? Tom, Emily, and yeah.
Was that 11?
That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have initials. I have initials down, so I'm deciphering initials the whole time.
Oh, you need to work that out better.
I do.
All right, very cool. A very cool cover.
Yep. So I'll throw this in real quick. This will be a Be on the Lookout that I want to throw up there in the next couple of days. So Jorge Fornes, he's done 8 of these window shade variants. It started with Amazing Spider-Man, and whenever I first saw this, I thought that's underwhelming. It's boring. I didn't like it at all, and I paid no attention to it. This came out December 22nd, and after that, we had a Ghost Rider one, and it didn't even dawn on me at that time. You know, I saw it and I just threw it away again because I disliked the Amazing Spider-Man one so much.
This one just doesn't work for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't see Ghost Rider peeking out from behind the shades.
Right. Yeah. It's
although
not
I
to do.
although I understand Patrick's point, I actually like this one the best because how they have his flame, his whole,
Yes.
all of it, seeing through the blinds even that aren't open. I think that's pretty cool.
It's nicely done effect, yeah.
But yeah, him peeking through, that's not his deal.
It's not his style.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So this was February 23rd. Supposedly there's a Hawkeye Kate Bishop #5. I can't find a picture of that anywhere. I'm gonna have to go to the comic book store, see if I can track one down. And it came out March 9th. And then that leads us to the Black Widow, which we just voted on, which comes out, I have it written down correctly here, March 30th. As well as my favorite, the Hulk #5. This comes out this coming week as well. I love this one because that's typical if the Hulk is looking through some blinds.
Yeah, he's wrecking it. Yeah, he's making it worse, right?
He's not going to be gentle. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
then,
so they're well done. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then April 20th, we have Wolverine #20. That's got to squeeze his claws in there somehow.
Very cool. Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't have Fantastic Four #44 is May 18th. So, and that's it. I followed him on Instagram, and he said he did 8 of them, and that's the 8 that he's done.
And that's going to be your next on the lookout post too, as well.
Yes, yeah. So just look for that on the website and the Facebook page in the next coming days, and I'll have all those dates. And you can, I'll put the previews order numbers in there as well. Makes it a little bit easier to, make sure your comic book store orders the right ones for you.
Yeah, I liked that when you did that with I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, you had the links on there where you can go hit those links to our website and go right to where you need to buy them too. Yeah,
yep.
I love that on websites, so it's even better on our website. So. Anyway, that's awesome. That's awesome. Is that about it for that?
That is it for that. Now that we have the proper dates sorted out.
Okay. So then we can just go with the geek stuff we got this week. Mike, do you want to start this one off?
Yeah, I didn't get anything.
Did you get any?
Outside of my regular books, I didn't get anything.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, regular books, that's the most important part.
Yeah,
How about you, Patrick?
I spent so much on that Sandman book last week.
You've been limited financially. Got it.
Yeah. My free time is spent at washing dishes, trying to make some extra cash.
Are you talking about at home with your wife giving you an allowance? Are you talking about it? Nice.
Yeah.
Patrick, you still there? Or
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just preparing.
Okay. We're ready. What you got?
I got a poster. This was through. You're there somewhere, Mike. This was through Disney Movie Insider. It's basically you sign up and you register points for buying movies or even watching movies. When you go to the theater, you scan your tickets and they give you so many points. Or they just randomly throw out some codes and you get points for those. And you save the points up and it can redeem them for mainly, it always had been physical items. Then a couple years ago, they switched to kind of all digital, but now they're back to offering some physical rewards. And every Wednesday, they do like a special reduced point value item. And last Wednesday, it was this Book of Boba Fett poster. And they're full size, like movie style 27 by 41 double sided posters. And I had been, I had been getting all the, the main Star Wars films through the Insider, like 7, 8, and 9 were offered through the rewards club. So they think this was like 400 points, which is basically kind of equates to $4, and shipping's free. So if you're still one of the people out there buying physical movies, you may have some point codes just sitting there not doing anything. and you can turn them into some pretty cool prizes.
Yeah, that is very cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I've been looking for a Boba Fett. I think I mentioned last week I bought one of just him
Right.
on the throne. Yeah, I would love to have this, definitely.
You were only allowed to buy 2 or redeem 2 because I actually thought about you, Kevin. If I could have picked up 2, I would have got one for you.
Well, that'd be cool.
Then the other things I got in this week, and I'm bringing up an old slide here, are the Marvel Legends 375 Wave 5. I ordered these on Amazon, and as we've talked in the past, I've about had it with Amazon for collectibles. It's kind of no point in ordering from them because everything ships in a bubble envelope. So I got who did I get first? I got Venom first, crease right across the card, and as I mentioned before, I'm just keeping these all carded. So I don't want a creased card. I'm buying a new item. I don't want it to be receiving it with a big crease across it,
Right.
especially if I'm not opening them.
Right.
So that's going back. Then I got Phoenix and Falcon together. Falcon is all right. His card's a little sort of like warped, but it's not. There's no crease marks on it. He'll flatten out, but Phoenix has a big dent on the corner of her card, so that one's going back. And then later that night, I got another shipment in another bubble envelope of Mr. Fantastic, and he again has a crease right across the card.
Wow.
So he's going back.
Wow.
And it was a bad week altogether because Chelsea had ordered a book from Amazon, actually 2 books, and one of them was, it wasn't. I don't think it was even because of the bubble envelope they sent it in. It was the carelessness that the packer, just kind of shoving it into the book. He folded, basically the cover up when he was shoving it into the envelope, and it was battered and bruised upon arrival. So, I don't know. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Toy problems, I guess, but it makes you not. The one good thing about ordering from Amazon is because, and this is very minor, because the little peg holes aren't punched out. I guess there's a big, there's sort of this big following around. They call them Chads. Like, remember the big old voting scandal?
Right.
People are actually trading these Chads from these Marvel Legends retro figures because they want to kind of insert them back in and have a complete card. But when you get them from Amazon, they're intact. You don't have to worry about them punching the holes out to hang them on the pegs in the store. So that was kind of an advantage. But when they continually just send collectibles in bubble envelopes, it's not, it's not a gamble you probably should take, because if you want mint collectibles, you're not probably going to get them through Amazon.
Yeah. Before you send those back, pop the Chads out.
Yeah.
Believe me, I thought about that.
Yeah, I would. It's a shame, as much as we take pride and care in shipping stuff that we sell. It's a company as large as Amazon. You'd think they would put more effort into that. I've seen other books that you've received, from overseas, from Amazon UK or Amazon France or whatever, and there's just everything's just jacked up, and it's so frustrating.
And again, the instance you're talking about, that was not the packaging's fault. It was the person packing the item, just not taking care. It's frustrating.
Yeah. What would you guys figure would be the kind of percentage of collectors getting these figures versus people just getting them for kids, or kids wanting them to open them and play with them? What do you think it is?
I don't know. I think today there's not many kids buying
3-inch.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with
especially that smaller size.
I don't know if that really has a factor. I just think figures all together. I think it's more of a collectible market.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. If Marcus has $20 to spend, he's going to go buy 2 of the They're about $10
Titans.
for those large Titan figures.
Yeah.
Before he's going to buy the little ones, and even those, like Patrick said, he keeps those on the card because the card artwork is really nice. So I think those are more geared towards collectors.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I ain't gonna argue with that. I definitely don't really have an opinion of what it would be either way. So, is that all you got this week, then, Pat?
Yeah, that was it.
All right. I didn't get a lot of different things, I guess, but I did get this. This is I had a dollar bin dive on Thursday.
Wait, are those bags and boards on top?
Yeah.
They have bags and boards in stock?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I might have to go there. I am in desperate need.
I got all this stuff at a place called Collectors World in Annandale, Virginia, and it was awesome. The short box is $150 books, and first thing that I like to say about these particular, I don't really need to leave that up. It's not really that special of a picture, but the dollar books there were all like, I would say 75% of them are in really good shape, especially for what you typically can find in dollar bins. And it was a real good selection too. It wasn't just a bunch of multiples of garbage. I liked it a lot. And then I guess I can put that picture back up. The cool thing about it was, and I'm actually kind of hesitant to tell people this because I don't want everybody to go there. But this graded comic, that's Star Wars: The High Republic #1. That's actually a variant cover of it.
Yeah. That's
a 9.4 graded copy. They gave me that free, just for spending $150 in their dollar bins, which was very cool. And they had a selection of graded books on the wall, like right above the dollar bins that you could choose from. There was probably, what do you think there was, Mike? Like 10 of those, probably.
Yeah, and 10 different ones, because there were quite a few of. I don't know what Amazing Spider-Man that was.
Yeah, it was the first appearance of Red Goblin, whatever number that is, and there was 3 of those. But other than that, they were all different. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those 3 were 9.8s too. So it's
Yeah, I think the Star Wars was better. Just
more
that
first
Amazing Spider-Man, was probably overprinted. Star Wars is always going to be desirable, and there are multiple first appearances in that particular book.
Yeah.
So even at a 9.4, I think it has more going for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very, I definitely, I went with your expert opinion on that one, and I wasn't about to dispute it because, but it was very cool. I plan on going there as often as I can afford it and have time in my life to get up there and do that.
Sounds like you're going to be doing a lot of dishes.
Yeah. But so that's basically all I got this week was 151 old books, and then I got my new titles this week too. So that's all I got. So
that's good. I can't wait to see all those.
Yeah, I posted that video of it this morning. You definitely check it out. I tried to make it pretty quick. It's only like 12 minutes long too. So I wanted to kind of take a moment too to mention some. I talked to you guys. I think I need to label this as maybe a segment, just to kind of recap of the Thursday podcast where we're still talking about minis and lots of dishes. I have to do lots of dishes. Got it. But anyway, this week, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to listen to Thursday's podcast. They're really short. I posted on Friday, and we're still kind of in a minis journey. And this week we talked about Star Wars miniatures, the game, and I wanted to kind of just put up a couple pictures real quick of those. This is, I just got 3 mini examples, and then the 3 cards that come with them. If you listen to the show, kind of explain what those are. And then this is what a board looks like and how it's all broken up to play with the minis. But I had a special request that someone definitely wanted to see those minis. So I want to put those up. And like I said, I want to kind of have a time where I, mention what we talked about in the show anyway. And then, Sorry.
It's a good time to throw the pictures up because I was wondering as I was listening, I was trying to picture what they looked like, and so throwing those up during this show is a good idea.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's they're particularly well done. I love them so much. I don't know why. I mentioned in the show too, with the latest version of Star Wars miniatures game, it's called Legion, but they've gone back to unpainted, kind of Warhammer type. I think I think that Boba Fett that you're supposed to paint for me, Mike.
Still
Yeah, yeah, it's in pieces too, so you got to put them together and paint them, as opposed to this Star Wars minis that I just put up there. They're all pre-painted, ready to go. Man, I don't know how many people. I don't know if anyone prefers it, the having to build and paint it yourself way. I can see how people don't mind that because they like painting and they're good at building it, whatever. But I don't see how someone can prefer that when, like I said, these other minis were done so well. But anyway, to each his own. So talking about minis and how I collect a lot of those, that'll take us right into Pat's collectibles on the horizon next. We are ready, Patrick. Take it away.
Okay, the first thing I wanted to show was I can't remember how I came across this during the week, but I had missed one of those Transformer collaborative items, and I think this was an SDCC exclusive. It was basically a another Ghostbusters crossover, but just a deco on Optimus Prime with the Ghostbuster colors.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
Packaging is cool too. Yeah. Is that all rounded like a carrying case or something?
Yeah, it's got like buckles or something there too, if you see on the corners. So I'm not sure what was up with that. You know what I think what it was? It's probably like a Ghostbusters backpack, I bet.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Very cool.
Okay, so moving on to new items. This is a company, I love their work, Tweeterhead, and they announced this Harley Quinn statue. I do not have any of their statues, but they've been doing some great DC work. If I was more of a DC fan and I had lots of disposable income, these are beautiful. They're so well done, and now they're even offering two different scales. They're taking the sculpt, and I don't know if they're manipulating it digitally or how all that works behind the scenes, but they are offering it in 1/4 and 1/6 scales, depending on your preference. The 1/6 scale is around $460, and the 1/4. I'm sorry, did I say the 1/6 is around $460, and the 1/4 scale, which is about 23 inches tall, is around that $600 mark. So they're pricey.
Wow.
Yeah, it's but so nice. I mean, this one comes with alternate portraits, head swaps, more traditional Harley, and then I think what a lot of people how they know her these days.
Yeah.
And the unmasked is I just think it's a great sculpt. And it also, if you also have another, probably, I don't know, I'm guessing he was more, you can display him with the Joker.
Oh, that's awesome.
Another great statue. I think the only little nitpick I have with some of these statues these days is they try to throw too much into the background. All the different items they try to hide in the stack of money there. Even on Harley's, it kind of bled over onto Harley's statue also. Neat little things to put there, but maybe it gets to be a little bit too much. But they're both really well done. I really like them. And like I said, they're just doing a bang up job on their DC license, statue after statue. They do classic versions. They do more modern versions. Someday they're gonna probably get me with something, like a awesome Flash statue or something, but so far I've managed to resist.
Yeah.
Tweeterhead's clutches.
This one's totally up your alley, Mike, right?
Oh yeah, I absolutely love them. They're really great. I've been out of the statue market for such a long time. Those price tags are
Yeah,
Yes.
it's crazy. You know, they're probably so expensive, not only obviously because of the hard work and the production of it and everything, but because there isn't a lot of people, I don't know, still being able to afford, you know, $300-$400 statues. So you got to tack another couple $100 on it to make up for, because you don't have that, you don't sell that many. I don't know, maybe, you know.
Yeah, the $300 ones, you know, 15, 20 years ago were that was top of the line.
Yeah, the 300 was the high dollar. Yeah,
I have a few of those. I remember, you know, used to spend. I'd pre-order this stuff. I'd have to go to the comic book store, and I'd pretty much just sign over my paycheck. You know?
Yeah. I would say I was into buying statues the most when they were in the low 100s for most statues. Then, you know, so
Yeah.
with the bow and stuff, you know. So
I don't know if part of this has to do with I hadn't really been paying too close attention to Tweeterhead because of, you know, just mainly because of DC, but part of me thinks that all their offerings are through Sideshow now. I don't know if that has something to do with it. I remember when they had first started, you would order directly from them, but now I think you have to go through Sideshow. So I don't know if that was part of the cost increase. I could be totally off base there, but
yeah, Sideshow said, "Hey, look, look what you can get away with charging."
Right.
Yeah, I would really love to see the actual cost of these versus, you know, what they charge.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah, very nice. I won't own them, but
Yeah.
something a little more affordable. And I mentioned this last week. This was the last item I had. Or the X-Men animated Marvel Legends. This week they announced Jean Grey, and these are available. I don't know if these are. I have not seen any of these in stores. They're definitely available through Hasbro Pulse, which is their, you know, in-store brand marketing portal. But I think, you know, these are also available through like Big Bad Toy Store. Probably. I don't know if they'll be offered through Diamond. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to do some research on that. But Jean Grey was the new announcement. The other ones, as far as I know, have already been either released or put up for pre-order. And, you know, they're basically, I think most, if not all of these have already been released in the main Marvel Legends line. Now they're getting that animated X-Men deco. And another thing that kind of makes them special, as I mentioned, is that they come in these VHS style cardboard boxes to, you know, even harken back a little more to that 90s animated series.
Yeah, actually, they're definitely in previews because I actually had the, you know, I don't know how you guys order through DCBS, but I just go and add everything I want, and then I taper down to what I can afford. You know,
that's what I do too.
And Wolverine with this VHS case box was one that was in there originally that did not make the cut.
Yeah,
I like those for storage as well. I mean,
yeah, very cool. That's what I was thinking. I've actually got some VHS still that I have on my bookshelf. You know. So I was gonna slide that right in there.
the only you know, it's a kind of a cool nostalgia throwback, but the only drawback that I see is that you can't, if these are on store shelves, you can't inspect your figure to see if there's a, you know, a messy paint job or something like that. They're all inside the cardboard sight unseen.
Yeah. They should make it my wife calling me out in the middle of the show. Accidentally order everything in my cart. Anyway, I was, you know, what would be a good solution for that is if the slipcover just came up, like if you, you know, take that cool VHS look cover off of it and it's still inside, like a clear package inside or something, you know.
Sure.
Which I don't know if they, you know.
Yeah, Kevin, you remember years ago? It's 94. I think we had that Iceman action figure. He had 2 left legs. His one leg was
Oh yeah, yep.
backwards.
Yep, that happens. Yep.
Yeah, we took that. I can't even remember what we ended up doing. Did we trade that? We traded that for a bunch of.
I was just thinking we
comics, I
tried.
think.
Yeah. Well, you tried to sell it, and then it ended up being a trade for a bunch of comics. I think that's what happened to it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we were at a convention in Pittsburgh. I think we traded that.
Yeah. Someone was all like, "Oh, that's gonna be worth so much because it has 2 left legs." Yeah.
Wait, that was me. I said that.
Yeah. Well, you convinced somebody else that
Right,
it was true.
Yeah. Trade me a bunch of these early 90s overprinted comic books for it.
So that was awesome, Pat. Thank you very much.
Yep.
I wanted to mention something that's going to be new starting next week. So everybody check this out for next week, or check us out next week for this. Blah.
Yep. Kevin's what Kevin watched.
No, this is even better. Okay. This is going to be a way for you to, purchase, get a great deal through this live stream. And basically, first of all, again, with catchy names, I'm starting to work on video now. I've got a catchy video intro for this one, and this one.
You got a deal. Are you for real?
You got a deal. Are you for real? That's what the name of the segment's going to be called. We're going to add it to next week. And
sorry,
basically what it is, I'm going to buy a mystery box, and I shouldn't even say it's going to be total mystery, or I'm going to get some sweet lot, kind of like I did with collectibles, the collectible store or the collector store that I was at, and I'm going to open it on the show, and you can buy whatever I open for what we paid for it. No risk to you for any of these mystery things. Once you've seen it is when you can tell us if you want to buy it or not. And it'll be at miscellaneous prices and miscellaneous types of things. But basically, all we expect is what we paid plus $5 in shipping. And it could be a great deal. I'm using the extreme example. And my wife will probably call me out when she hears me say this. If I open one of those mystery boxes and it has an Incredible Hulk 181 in it, or an Amazing 300, or an Iron Man #1, whatever. If there's some awesome mystery in there, I'm telling you, if I open it on the show, you can buy it. You just got to be the first person to comment that you want to buy it, and it's yours for the cost we pay, which I'll obviously tell before we open it, plus $5 in shipping. And that'll go up until, I talked to you a little bit about this before the show, but this will go up until maybe we should have a deadline, but I was thinking until we put it on eBay, it's up for grabs. But then once we go to list the stuff on eBay, then obviously it's not up for grabs anymore. And I guess we'll come up with some kind of deadline on that by, maybe we'll give people a week. So it could possibly be in the Saturday short show for the following week, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
But it could be an opportunity for a bunch of great books.
I'm going to keep you on speed dial for 181. You can save the $5 shipping.
What's that? Say it again. You broke up.
I said I'm going to keep you on speed dial for that Hulk 181, and you can save $5 in shipping.
It's funny.
I know, I'm not eligible.
You're not eligible. Yeah, it's funny that. And actually, who isn't eligible? I guess it'll just be the 4 of us 3 and Johnny that won't. Well, anybody in the group isn't eligible, but our family can. I mean, hey, if Mark sees it or Valor sees it, or
Mark's got more money in his wallet than I do sometimes.
But I think it'll be a great way for somebody to get a great deal, and it'll be available up until the Saturday. No, it doesn't count.
Jesse.
No. No, I'm gonna have to come up with some specific. But who knows exactly? I mean, maybe that'd be interesting to sell my wife some books. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's going to be exciting. I'm going to actually have another camera, so we'll have an extra thing beside us that'll be showing because if it's like 30 books, I don't want to take a long time to cover it. I'll just basically show what all the books are.
Yeah.
Be like, boom. I'm sure we won't be able to help ourselves completely to not discuss something we may see, but
Yeah, that'll be fun.
But I'm looking forward to it. But just as a reminder, the name of it is.
You got a deal. Are you for real?
I'm
Okay,
already merchandise. I'm already getting merchandise ideas for that.
Okay. But it starts next week. So
I need a statue of that kid's head there. That hair.
Okay, and to continue with the changes scenario, we got another change coming. So I want to move into the final comics we read this week. So I've gotten some input about how we need to kind of make things quicker, and with comics we read this week, short attention span people, we've decided to maybe kind of taper that down a bit to kind of a one book for each of us. And obviously it'd be better if it was a new book review. So next week, the comics we read this week will turn into the Get It or Forget It comic book reviews.
We'll have to have a contest at some point. We'll say, hey, we're going to have a new segment. This is kind of the gist of what it's going to be. Name it, and you win a prize.
I don't know if I agree with that. I would lose the vote right now, obviously, if everybody likes that idea. But I kind of like coming up with all these corny ideas for names.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the calendar to make sure I get the right date.
Okay.
For when my book was released.
So next week it'll be the Get It or Forget It comic book reviews. It'll be one book that we'll all pick, kind of give the deets, and that's actually how I'm going to do my final comics we read this week. But you guys can kind of stick with what we talked about prior, because I'm sure that's what you kind of prep for. So I think, Patrick, it's your turn to go first if you want.
Can do that.
Okay. Hey, Pat, can you bring your picture up again real quick? I just want to comment on that awesome Marvel Comics group you got there in the back. Is that actually is that a poster you got up there somehow, or is that
a big canvas?
Oh, nice.
Which I have never hung up. It just kind of was sitting here in the office, so I figured I'd prop it up in the.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yep.
Doesn't it feel better when you finally figured a use for something like that too?
The use is to get it up on the wall somewhere, but that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, we need Patrick moved over here because it's covering Reed Richards, our logo.
Oh yeah. You should, well, I'm sure. Well, he was talking about how he wanted to hide that corner of the room anyway, a little bit. And actually, I think I can move that. While Patrick's talking, I'm going to see if I can move that. So, Patrick, take away your final comics we read this week.
Yeah. So I had been way behind on Strange Academy. In fact, I have, I think, through 16 or 17 currently, but unfortunately I only got 9, 10, and 11 read this week. This is a book, you kind of have to stay on top of it because the cast of characters is so huge. In the gap between reading, I had kind of forgotten about where we were at and who some of these characters were. But this book is by Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos. I give them a lot of credit because they are still the creators on this book, and it's up, like I said, up to 16 or 17, same creative team. So that's something of an oddball these days, where creative teams are constantly swapping out and artists are rotating. I don't think there's been a fill-in issue. I think this is all in these guys, and this is a book. I guess I'm not going to get too much into content of the book right here, I just kind of want to throw it out. This is sort of like, I think this would be a good book to get new readers, like teenage readers. It's it's basically sort of like Hogwarts in the Marvel universe in a way. It's dealing with a lot of interpersonal relationships between the students. They've cast some known Marvel heroes as teachers, professors, instructors, like Brother Voodoo, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, so on and so forth. So you have a little bit of the tie-in for the older readers, but it's basically these young teens. A lot of them have ties to established characters in the Marvel universe, but I think I'm not 100%, but I think they're mainly new characters. So it seems like with Scotty Young, he's has a humorous bent to his writing. It seems like a book that would do well with teens. Now, I don't know whether teens are picking up this book. And you also have Ramos, who sort of has that more animated style, more manga style, if you would. I would think this would be a good draw for that crowd, but I don't know if it is. I don't know if Mike, I don't know if possibly Cora has ever picked this book up.
No, she hasn't, but I'm gonna actually show it to her and see. I'll kind of get her opinion on it.
Yeah, I'd be interested. To see an opinion of a manga reader, an anime viewer, see if this style of artwork would be something up their alley. If the content is something up a teen's alley, I don't know. It is sort of a book that I think is, aimed at a younger audience. Maybe not me, but I am enjoying the book.
Has Valor checked it out?
No, he has not.
Has he been into the manga at all or anything like that?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So that's something, maybe I should try, to pick up a trade or something, and see if it grabs his interest. It just seems like maybe they're not. I don't know what Marvel does marketing wise these days, but it seems like that's the audience they should be targeting here. But yeah, it's a well done book, but like I said, if you don't keep on it with that large cast of characters, it can be a little bit much. But it's still a worthwhile book in my opinion, especially like I said, because the creative team seems committed to this book, and we'll see where they take it from here. I mean, I don't know if there's a plan. If Scotty Young has a plan on how long he wants to take this book, or if the sales warrant it. But I mean, they could continue this forever. Different classes of kids coming in.
Yeah,
it just could be a continuous book. But
be a great way to introduce new characters all day long. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, that's like I said, because I intended to read further and get a larger chunk and kind of do an overview of that larger chunk. Not really. Excuse me, not really a review, but I just wanted to point it out and bring it up.
Yeah. Cool.
Can I chime in real quick?
Sure.
The way I read it, issue 18 is the last issue.
You got to be kidding me.
Oh, really?
Well, for the foreseeable future, I'll read what League of Comic Geeks has in their synopsis. It said, after this issue, things will never be the same at Strange Academy. Seriously, you do not want to miss this issue that is going to destroy you emotionally and destroy the school beyond recognition. Oh, and there it says, final issue.
Well, that doesn't mean a lot these days with Marvel. Right. So hopefully.
Yeah, and you're right. It's impressive that Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos they've stayed, as a creative team. There have been no fillers that I've seen, so they might be finishing their run. Maybe Ramos may be going to do something else. Scotty Young might write the next volume, or they might hand it off to a new creative team.
Yeah, that's true.
I do think there's way too much greatness in this series to just call it quits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they're smart enough to
Yeah.
figure that out. Hopefully they watch this live stream or listen to the podcast and get some good tips.
Yeah. Bring it back.
Yeah. All right, Mike, you got some?
I sure do.
All right.
All right. I have Venom Lethal Protector #1. And I'm going to kind of do this so I can. So this came out last Wednesday, 3/23. And it's David Michelini as the writer and Ivan Fiorelli as the artist. And I absolutely loved this book. You know, Michelini's the co-creator of Venom. And that was the Venom that I last read as well. You know, the Amazing Spider-Man books. I didn't read the Lethal Protector Volume 1 or anything beyond that. So I have the current Venom stuff. I just haven't read it. And this was my favorite stuff. Throughout this issue, I noticed first on the cover, there's no crazy tongue, which I thought was great. So I skimmed through it and no sign of some crazy tongue flying all over the page. So I was even more intrigued.
Yeah.
And I read it, and it's just that old school Venom story. Now this is set in that period as well, in the early days of Eddie Brock, and
okay, so it's kind of it takes you back. It's not something that's trying to happen now. Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly. This is set back in the original days of Eddie Brock getting the symbiote, and I think Michelini's humor is there, which I really loved in the Amazing Spider-Man that he did. So this is absolutely a must-get for fans of that period of Venom.
Okay.
So what side of the Tyler thing is that? What's the saying?
That's to get it. Yeah.
Yes.
No. That Tyler is about the
yeah. This is something
You're
different.
talking about the get it or forget it review.
Yeah, this is a get it.
This falls into the get it. Well, it sounds like so the way the ratings are going to work. I'm glad you actually mentioned this, Mike. So the way the ratings are going to work is get it or forget it is going to be like a 4-star and a 2-star, with the middle being no opinion either way, and the top will be a must-have. And what did we say the bottom one was going to be?
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Yeah.
Hard pass. So it sounds like this is to use a must-have, right?
This is absolutely a must-have.
All right, cool. First highest rating. Yeah, nice. All right, so that's all you wanted to cover this week anyway, Mike?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so I'm going to go with, well, first of all, another update on Mouse. I was more than 20 pages out, like 40, 45.
Oh, geez.
So I read like 25 more pages. There's like 310 pages, you know? But anyway, I read another 25 pages or whatever. So I counted this time because I just did this last night too. We had a real good family reading. We all kind of hung out down here and read together. It was awesome. So I literally have 25 pages left now. So 100%. And then I guess once I'm completely done, then we'll talk about when that's going to be the unique topic of the week, discussing Mouse a little bit.
Yeah, because that I have to plow through that. I didn't read volume 2.
Oh, so I need to hand this out to you. Then you need to try to prioritize it, and then we'll get there.
Right.
Christmas special 2020. Maybe the New Year's special.
I think honestly, on a Christmas special, there's so many Christmas themed books. So let's keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, I actually had an idea for. I'll tell you guys about it later. I won't go into it now.
Get to your review.
Yeah. My review today is going to be based on this. So this is the other thing I read last night. I've been meaning to get around to this for a while. I love heavy metal, and I think this is actually the last one. It's not the newest. I think there's one newer one than this. But this is, it's heavy metal. Did I write down the number? I didn't even write down the number because I only read the first story of this because we've talked about heavy metals in the past, and For anybody who's not familiar, so there's a bunch of stories in heavy metal. And I read the first one. It's called Jack Vance's Avenging Demon Princes, Part 1, The Star Prince. It's a story by Joe Morvan and with art by Paolo Trasky. Trying to give shout out to people that deserve it, trying to be more like you guys. But and I couldn't find any good inside visuals. I mean, I guess I just could have taken a picture, but I was trying to look for something that was higher quality. I couldn't find it, but anyway, it's like, as you can tell from the name of the book, it's a revenge story, and it's about it starts out with a young boy, and he's literally raised just to avenge the wrongs to his family from these princes. And it's an excellent story. Again, it's every story I've read in the heavy metal recently are great. So I'm definitely subscribing to it. I think I'm going to go with the best deal and get a yearly subscription, just have it shipped to my house. You get like 3 years, you pay like less than half cover price. Right now I'm just buying them as I see them, but I need to subscribe. You got to fork out that big money at one time to get the best deals, though. So that's not
Right.
happening right away. But so I read Mouse and that heavy metal. So that's pretty much all I got this week as far as what I read.
Yeah.
All right, and then we wanted to continue with what we were talking about last week. Do you guys remember that?
Yes, absolutely.
What were we talking about, Mike?
The pros and cons of a comic book shop.
Yeah, well, I think we titled it "What to Expect from a Comic Shop." Pros and cons. Yeah.
Yeah, I mess up on titles and dates.
That's okay. So, Patrick, give it another week. Did you come up with any new ones?
I had one left over from last week, and that is, if you have a good staff, they're always a good source for possibly recommending a book to you. Maybe you tell them what kind of interests you have, and hopefully they're knowledgeable and they can recommend either a new book or maybe a trade paperback to dig into, and get your journey going on a reading adventure.
So that's a great pro in my opinion too. I to harken back to video store days, remember they had the what Kevin recommends, and me and Mike actually worked at a video store together for a while. We did a little bit of this. We had the section on the wall, Kevin's recommends and Mike's recommends, and then obviously they'd get to know us as customer to employee, and we'd obviously give them the advice. But if they're a kind of customer that wasn't into really being that social, they could just go to Kevin's section and check out my recommends there. And it's even better, obviously, being social with people so they get a feel for you, so they know what you'd like even more specifically. I think this is a great idea. I think we actually have a list of when Xcellar opens, and I think this is on the list, isn't it, Mike? As far as
it is
recommends, yeah.
Yep.
Because it's a great idea. Yeah, so that's a great pro.
Yep. Yeah, I've had stores that they'll you have a pull box there and they'll drop titles in there. If you get, let's say you get X-Men books and there's a one shot or something, they'll throw it in there if it's a mutant book, and obviously you can pass it or not, but yeah, it's good service.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback right onto that with a con, because you just made me think of one thing that I do think is a little bit of con, and if our boy Troy checks this out, I hope he doesn't get mad at me, but it's a little bit of a con sometimes when I've got 6 books I didn't ask for that he's assuming I want that are in my box, and then I go to put them back on the shelf because they were basically just recommends that I didn't really subscribe to. But then he tries to sell it to you more anyway. It's like, Troy's a great salesman, but being a little overbearing with it can grind on you on occasion. Yeah.
I wish in one of these days if Mike from New York comes on here. I'm
gonna have to edit that out.
That's right. Let me start over. One of these days, if Mike from New York comes on here, we worked at a comic book store together in the early 90s. And I remember doing previews orders with him. And he would look and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to order one of these. I'm going to order this. Because he had certain customers in mind. And he would specifically order books for them. And there was this one customer. Everything that Mike put in her box, she's like, oh, yes, yeah, definitely. And it's stuff that she didn't order. And sold all of them to her.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So and that's where you just really, like, in his defense there, I mean, man, he really paid attention to what customers purchased. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have a little story with Mike too. I think it was our first get together, which we hadn't seen Mike in 20 years prior to our first get together, I think. And we went to the basement sale in Elwood, and it was really great. I can't remember what I was looking at. I think it was Batman at the time or whatever. And Mike just walked over with a big stack, probably 15 books of all Spawn. And he's like, hey, man, here, I found these for you. I figured you would be looking for these. And of course, obviously, he was right. And I was just like, sweet, thanks, man. And it was just cool that he remembered from, so long ago that was my thing, So
yep.
Really cool.
Yeah, that day, because I don't think he collects single issues anymore. I think he's
I don't think so either.
Guy. So that day, seeing him there, he was kind of looking for books
Everyone
for all
else.
of us. Yeah. He gave me a couple books. Hey, here you go. It's like perfect.
Yeah, he hooked Max up with Red Hood. So yeah, just figuring he'd like those, and he was right. Max loved it.
Yeah.
So, all right, what's your first one? Technically, your first one, Mike.
Okay, pull list. Get a pull list at a store.
Yeah.
Because you're guaranteed to get those books, and there's no fear of missing out. I know the anxiety I would get sometimes on Wednesdays. Holy cow, I don't want to miss that book. And it kind of leads to a con is the stores have to limit what they order. They can't be stuck with all these books. So if there's a book that just heated, it got real hot over the last week, those things can be sold out by the end of the day, Wednesday or even Thursday. If you don't get there till Saturday, there's a real slim chance on most of these stores that you're going to get that book. So get a pull list. A lot of times they come with discounts as well because the store's guaranteed a sale on that book.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's definitely for anybody who's unfamiliar with the stores, and it's as we're talking about ordering through DCBS and everything. For anyone who isn't familiar, you're ordering 3 months out, and then we talked about when they charge you for that and all that. But yeah, if you have a pull list in the store, a good staff that tracks it and gets you the books you pre-order with them, you only have to pay for them once they're here. So it's a sweet deal. As long as they stay on top of it. And I would say more times than not they do. It's a little frustrating when sometimes something will fall through the cracks, but and we've been subscribers at stores too where you go in and ask for a book and they'll pull from someone else's box to give you that book. And I don't know whether it's because, like Patrick was mentioning before, people that didn't keep up on getting their books and they know it was there for a while, or they just are looking to sell it as quick as possible. Either way, who knows? But as long as they have the integrity to keep up with what you want and keep it in there, like you said, it's a great way to not miss out on something, Mike. So yeah, it's a good one. Yeah. All right, so mine, I actually have 3 here, but I'm going to combine them in one because they're all kind of visual. It's like marketing and just merchandising and stuff. So one thing that you can kind of expect from comic stores, and it just frustrates me, and I don't know whether it's my background with video stores, because again, we took care of this in the video stores, but kind of keeping it fresh, whether it be with posters and how you want your, decorations, whether it be statues and whatever kind of set up, kind of rotation with those kind of things, not having faded posters in the windows, kind of set up your store in a way that you can rotate those things rather than it's a poster from 10 years ago that's faded from the sun, looks like garbage. And, the reason they don't switch it out is because they, they put it up on the window and then they put a big bookshelf in front of it with 1,000 hardcovers on it, and they can't even get to it anymore, stuff like that. So, that's kind of something you can expect to kind of see. And I think that's a con. And again, another visual is price tags. So, especially for older guys with glasses, but I'd even say this doesn't apply to just older guys with glasses. Normal visual people, some of those stores, they'll have their more expensive books, and they're not even crazy expensive, $20, $30 books or whatever on the wall. And they'll be like 8 shelves up, and you're 10 feet from that wall to begin with. And then it's up, and then they got the little tiny,
the price gun sticker.
Yeah, exactly, on there.
Yeah, that I can't see when I'm holding it.
And then you feel bad, especially depending on how busy who the staff is, to be like, hey, man, how much is that? And most of the time they got to look it up, or they got to go up there and get it and whatever, So this is another shout out to that collector's store in Annandale. They had these great bright orange kind of, they were blast, all the rigid edges all the way around, kind of explosion stickers with Sharpie, real big on the price, and stuck it up there. So no matter where the book was, and even they had posters high near the ceiling too. They had these stickers beside it that would, they were like frame stuff too. So they had it on the glass or plastic or whatever too. But with just, I could see it there wasn't anywhere I couldn't see it, you know? So I didn't have to bug anybody. And that really makes a difference for me, because if I got the money to spend, sometimes I don't spend it just because it's a pain in the butt, So I think that's a really, really cool one too. Again, with a con with a store like Collectors, and then negative with stores that have little ones. So,
Yep, I agree.
All right, Patrick, you got another one?
I really don't. I think we're just gonna listen along and chime in if I have.
All right, opinion. Mike.
I have one, and this is. How do I want to say it? Specific to our store here, and they offer a service on Fridays. They list everything coming out Wednesday, and as long as you request it, I think the deadline is Monday. I usually do it right away on Fridays, but if there's anything you want to add to your pool box that's coming out this week, you just send them, click it on this little list, and you can get it in your box that Wednesday. So I think it's a good thing to know the store, and because a lot of stores have great little programs like this,
different practices.
Yeah, and that's an online thing. There's no way to really tell when you're walking around in the store. So a lot of stores have programs like that you're just not aware of.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and especially with an area like ours, it's kind of we've got so many options.
Yeah.
Committing to one for a specific reason. I don't know about you, Mike, but I literally commit to ours because of Troy. That's the biggest reason I chose ours, which used to be Flashback. Now it's Gateway, Nova Gateway Comics. But yeah, you got committing to one store to be aware of all of its particulars.
Yeah,
that's definitely important in my opinion too. Yeah.
Yep.
Those little nuances are nice. And then they got a point system, which those seem to change from store to store as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like most stores have some sort of repeat customer program to kind of, pay back the repeat customers.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of prevents people from bouncing around from store to store. It keeps you focused, like, well, I'm going to go here because I can get my points or discount, things like that.
Yeah. So a couple things I wanted to just mention about Xcellar when it happens. And these are ideas I'm just thinking about as you're talking about that, is we have a guy in front of our store, and it's tax season. I'm sure people are familiar with this. You got the guy or the girl on the street in the Statue of Liberty dancing, acting a fool on the street, getting attention for the tax place because they're only open for 3 months a year or whatever. You got those up around you anywhere, Patrick? You know what I'm talking
I like from commercials and things. I get the gist of what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, we've got one that's right by our comic book store.
I honk at him when I'm in the parking lot. I'm parking. I pull up and I park and I honk at him.
Yeah. And bless that kid. He is got some energy. Yeah, he's dancing like he's at a club by himself on the street. And we go in the store, we'll come back out 45 minutes. He's still dancing like he's for the entire tax season. He does it every year. It's been every year for as many years as I can remember. But that would be awesome if like on the weekend or something like that, you know. I mean, you have Wolverine, you have a quality Wolverine or maybe a giant Batman on the street out there doing some craziness. Spider-Man doing some flips, whatever. Every kid in town driving by is going to see that, and every adult that thinks that those things are cool too, is going to be heading right into our store. You know, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, we've got a laundry list of
ideas,
ways to do it better.
Yeah, it will be better.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was all mine. Actually, I don't have any more. Mike, do you have any more?
No. I had a couple. I combined a couple of them together there.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I actually had 4, but then I combined 3 of them because they were all kind of on the same beat. So okay, that'll wrap it up for the what to expect in comic stores, pros and cons, part 2 segment. All right, so I really didn't have anything else. You guys want to move into recap? You know, I giggle every time I say that because, you know, I don't know what you guys are doing the entire time, but you know, I'm not focused on it at all. Yeah. I'm not doing it at all. So literally as soon as I turn my notes here, I got them in order now. So I, you know, keep the order up. But I've got it in order. And as soon as I flip it over, I'm like, man, I didn't take notes on this again, you know, and I'm serious. We're missing Johnny. We don't know exactly what's going on. Obviously, you know, besides for still just the same kind of busy stuff as before, but we were hoping to have him last week. We didn't hear from him this week, but hopefully again next week. Oh, and that'll bring up something else too. Easter. None of us are going to be here.
Right. So
next week will be the last show for 2 weeks, you know. So anyway, so recap. Anybody want to go first? We got something on the top of their head to start?
Well, last week I took notes. Week before I took notes. We during pregame. Or last week.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. But
this week I didn't.
I forgot.
I know we forgot during pregame. We forgot to mention it. But so I'll start off with one. The recap is always better with Johnny.
Yeah.
It always is.
It's true. Pat, you got one?
Yeah, I would say just remember here at Xcellar, we're all about the freebies. Come on, people.
It's free.
Exactly.
And we're gonna soon have some deals. And we are for real.
You know, Patrick is like that subtle awesome in the background all the time. You know, Patrick does it too, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Patrick about the, you know, when we post this on our social media, just what we'll see Patrick add to it later in the week. It's so good because it's not only just a general recap, but he's also got these little clever takes.
Right.
Like I liked when you talked about Johnny and Kevin and her peace talks. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Just those little things that are awesome. So that was great, Patrick. Thank you. And then we are going through a lot of changes this week for next week, so look forward to it.
Yep.
All right, Mike.
Yeah. The last thing I've got for me is read this.
Okay. And what is that? That's another thing too. We don't exactly point that out every week.
Right. That is I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. It's my favorite book.
I Am Legend. Read it. That's a recommend for you, huh?
It is a recommend. And I'll give everybody fair warning. There's a stretch in the middle where it gets very scientific. Plow through it. Just plow through it.
Well, it can't be that long. With how many pages is it?
I think 160, 168. Yeah. So yeah, read that book and don't watch the movie.
Okay, I've got today is March 27th.
Oh, happy birthday to Xcellar member Chris.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Chris.
Chris.
Yep. You got a deal. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, recap from the Xcellar Comics staff. You got a deal. Statues are too expensive now. Xcellar will be a far better store than any comic book store. Read I Am Legend and listen to get the fan freebie. That's very nice.
Nice. Well
That is
said.
good. I just, that last thing I wanted to add to kind of knock on Mike again is today's the 27th of March. Don't mistake it, okay? This coming Wednesday is March 30th, okay? It's not going to be April yet. We're not
Right.
quite there. So
These books come out. It says it right there, March 30th. Right.
all right, that was a good good recap.
Yeah.
That might have been the best one we've had in a while. So all right. So reminders now. Please answer the poll and the question on the podcast through the Spotify app, please. If you participate in the Fun Fan Freebie, you can also up the ante of freebie you can get by doing so. So please do that. Then a schedule reminder. We'll have an edited podcast of this live stream tomorrow. Pre-recorded midweek crawl through podcast on Thursday or no later than Friday. And then, Mike, do you still want me to lead that live stream, the Saturday Short Show on Saturday up?
I probably should do it Sunday morning before we do this show.
So we just going to change it to the Sunday
Yeah.
Short Show?
Yeah.
The Sunday Short Show? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'll have some pricing for some of the items. And,
Oh, yeah. Talk about that for a minute. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so they'll be available. You can contact us through the website or through the Facebook page. And if you want to purchase them before they go on to the eBay site, and I think they'll be going up on the eBay site. Did we talk about Wednesdays? So
Yes. Yeah.
Before Wednesday, if you contact us, they'll be available through the website. So yeah, change it.
April 17th, 3 weeks away. Easter's 3 weeks away.
Well, I'm not going to argue with her. She's your mother's going to know.
This is the incorrect date nightmare. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
so
going to argue with anybody about dates right now.
I thought Easter was always the second Sunday of the month. No? Yes.
Oh no, because the second Sunday I was supposed to. Yeah, I
We'll
was
go
not
to the
gonna be
stupid
there.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And I'm not insulting Mike by calling it a stupid thing. It's literally what they do is called a stupid thing. Yeah.
but yeah, it's got
Not appropriate for a family
not
show.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. So yeah. Okay. So anyway, so if Donna is accurate, Donna, my mother. If my mother, well, she's probably accurate. She knows better than me, that's for sure. But so yeah, we'll be off Easter, so we'll be on every week until then. So if next week isn't the final show, then the next one after that. That's really good. That's an appropriate time for dates to be screwed up altogether. So that's fine. Xcellar Comics says she's correct. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So it'll be the Sunday Short Show that you can actually buy stuff from the Sunday Short Show starting next week. It won't just be a preview. It'll be a preview and a way to buy it before we even try to sell it the regular way, which is awesome in my opinion.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then of course live stream every Sunday at 1-ish. And lastly, follow Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And stop by to see what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comic or _comics and XcellarComics.com.
I forgot. Oh, man, Marcus would kick my butt. I need to give a shout out.
Oh yeah, Mark. Yeah.
To my son Marcus. He has a YouTube channel. He plays video games, and if you'll go check him out, it's Zeus 2014. So it's ZOOS 2014, and I owe him this shout out because he said when he gets the same amount of followers as Xcellar,
Let's not talk about how many that is. Just
I owe it to him,
Yeah.
and we're there. So follow his go check his page out. He's pretty funny narration on his gameplay.
it is funny.
So Zeus
Might be for a slightly younger crowd.
yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's very kid friendly. It's geared towards them.
Good stuff. Yep.
Go, Mark.
I'm glad you remembered that so we don't get yelled at by
Yeah,
Mark. So that's all you got?
that's all I got.
Pat?
I'm good.
All right. Everybody, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.